Right, so first Descendant. First thing to note is, despite the fact that the official site on Steam says, admittedly, yes, recommended was like 2070. However, the minimum is like a 1060. I'm kind of scratching the bottom of the barrel here. I've got a 1070 Ti, and this game runs like ass. Which I'm kind of not happy about. Hold on, I'm just getting all these stats up properly. So, recommended Windows 10 64 graphics RTX 2060 or AMD Radeon RX 5600 XT. Minimum GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. I've got a 1070 Ti. Or an AMD Radeon RX 570. So, although I am clearly on the bottom side of this, I would like to think at the very least it would run. I struggle to get above 40 frames, and throughout this recording you will see certain parts where it lags out. That's not my recording software lagging out. That is the full-on game having a heart attack. On that note though, however, please do remember that this is still the beta. Just want to point it out there because, yeah. Right. First off, the game graphically, despite the fact that I believe I end up putting it on like very low, and it still looks pretty decent. I clearly am going to have to upgrade my graphics card at some point. I think I have a 3070 in the works somewhere. I just got to go and get my PC upgraded, which means like a week of no videos. But yeah, graphically it does look amazing. Sadly, there is no character creation screen. There are different characters which seem to perform different roles. CC, DPS, healer, tank. You got speedy characters. I did have a separate recording of these characters, but the file went and frigging corrupted because I tried using OBS to do the recording, and the resolution, it wasn't happy with the resolution, and it got all messed up. So I will do a follow-up video of that at some point. I just kind of wanted to get this out here now because, yeah. Right, so why am I actually looking at other games? Well, to be honest, I don't have a lot of faith in the Division 2 dev team, so I'm looking at other games to sort of like branch out. I still will be covering Division regardless until it is completely dead and no longer updated, and there's no point doing any more or any less content on it. So, but I probably will be branching out at some point. I really do like my looter shooters. First Descendant is one of the ones I've had an eye on for about 3 years now, back when it was called Project Magnum or Project Magnus, whatever it was called. And there is another one called Ark Raiders. The reason this one kind of had me interested is because I quite like the styling of these games. I'm very much a sci-fi fan. I think one of the first movies I ever watched when I was like 4 years old was Aliens. So I like the whole sci-fi thing. A lot of the characters in this seem to be having some form of like power setup or power armor. Like she's got power legs. There's one character called Bunny who is a person in a powered Iron Man bunny suit. For the weebs out there, she's like your speedy character. There is another one called Sharon, something like. I'm guessing she's the full Karen of the group, but she seems to be your stealth player. She seems to be able to go invisible, and getting kills while you're invisible resets the cooldown of you being able to go invisible. There is a full-on knight-looking tank guy. There's clearly someone who is a healer, and when they die, like they get like a free life every like 60 seconds. Whenever they die, they just respawn. Again, I do apologise for the lag spikes. Not a lot I can do about it until I upgrade my graphics card. Probably just get an entirely brand new PC, to be honest. There's characters that have like a bonus with gunplay. There's characters that have a bonus with melee. There's characters that have like a bonus with your abilities, almost like a mage styled character. I kind of wish these weren't gender locked. I would have preferred if you could like play tiny female tank or big brutey tank. Like, I don't know. Gender locking characters seems really, really dumb to me. Like, I don't get why you would do it at all. Really. Yeah, sadly I don't have pictures and I can't really show you, but we have a guy called Lepic. He is an AoE dealer who uses grenade with various effects. Ajax, tank, creating synergies based on his survivability. Viessa, which is a debuffer controlling frost to restrict enemies' actions. That's the character I'm playing as here. Bunny, Nuka, well, I'm assuming that's like a jungler or like high burst DPS. Electricity attacks and incredibly fast. Jaber, utility dealer summoning turrets with various effects such as attacking and healing. Sharon, close range DPS, camouflaging herself to give herself a set distance from the enemy. Gley, Gley, utility dealer that obtains life spheres from eliminating enemies to heal herself or enhance her attacks. Blair, damage over time, damage dealer, blasting and absorbing fire to gain energy. Freyna, damage over time dealer using poison to slowly kill enemies. And then there's Ultimate Lepic, AoE dealer sending frost to deal damage. I kind of get the impression this whole, because we've got Lepic and then Ultimate Lepic, I kind of get the impression they're going kind of like a Warframe route, having Warframes and then their Prime variants. Whereas here we'll be getting the character plus Ultimate character. There is a store, although this is not a microtransaction store. This seems to be an event store, so like you can either grind out, it was like hundreds of thousands of in-game standard resources that you will typically pick up, or you can grind the events and the event resources from the event store. You can buy the same items, but they would cost you like 100, 200, etc. of these event items. I kind of feel this is a pretty good way to go with events, essentially just being able to, effectively the items are what you would need to make a new character or research a new character. It would typically, you would need 4 separate items, and each of these items would cost you anywhere between 100,000 and 200,000 varying resources. Or you can grind out the event, and to buy all 4 items would cost you no more than like 500 of the event resource. So I kind of feel like this is a pretty good way to go, and certainly does actually give the events usability, replayability, and a purpose. Other than just trying to enjoy the game, grinding out the events, you can unlock and progress with new characters. Now, of the characters, they are referred to as the Descendants, and the first Descendant is the character that you are currently playing as. That is your first pick, first in slot, your go-to. So, first Descendant. The overall storyline does seem to be a little bit Outriders, like magical people that arrived on a weird planet first and set up settlements, and there's this thing called the Darkness, which I'm assuming is what is controlling all the little minions running around. So the story, the environment, the actual setup of the game, the looks of the weapons, as well as the overall atmosphere it gives when you go to the main hub, it's called Albion, it is beyond Destiny looking and feeling. That it kind of feels like Bungie are going to do a lawsuit any minute now. Every character is able to equip up to 3 different weapons, and you can upgrade essentially all weapons. So you can constantly chop and change, or what we like to call hot swapping. So you can go between an AR and a shotgun and like a scout rifle, marksman rifle essentially, or you can have like sniper rifles, pistols and submachine guns, and you can upgrade all of these individually, which is quite a unique, weird way to go. However, this also does actually open up a dynamic of where, for example, Sharon, who is your camouflage close combat dealer, damage dealer. You could outfit her with range options so that you're able to fight at a decent range using ARs, rifles, sniper rifles, etc. to have range options. However, when enemies get close, you have your character's perks, abilities, and overall stats also spec'd into close range just because of the character you have picked to deal with anything at a close range, optimizing your overall damage output across varying different ranges. That being said, it kind of then also makes each individual character's usability not unique. Like, if you could build a damage dealer as a tank or a range DPS as a close range DPS, I don't see the point. The only ones that then would become unique would be healers and any form of summoner, essentially, like the guy that spawns turrets. Outfitting the character I have here, who is a CC ice wizard person, outfitting her with close combat weapons, SMGs, shotguns, etc, etc. LMGs are actually usable in this game as well. At one point I run around like a crazy person with an LMG. It's quite fun. I seem to be able to actually have her set up as a form of tank, which then makes either her as a CC redundant or the actual character that is meant to be the tank redundant. So I'm not quite sure where they're going with the character customizations. Obviously, pertaining to this particular character, if I was to build her more as the CC, she would be vastly better at that, but that doesn't excuse the fact that I can still have her be tanky. Maybe later on in the game there are going to be more class specific drops that will be particular for this character, like only, like I've forgotten her name already. Ajax. I remember Ajax is the tank, because every tank in every game like this is always called friggin' Ajax. So potentially later on in the game, when you start getting into the higher difficulties, this is literally like it's the first mission outside of the tutorial. Potentially we could be getting, of the higher difficulties, Ajax only. Ajax gets double shield upon doing XYZ, or gets a massive health return when XYZ, or whatever, to actually make him purposefully a tank. But for the moment, early game, the whole class system doesn't really seem to have any form of point. Another thing as well, when it comes to games like this, which really annoys me, along with the fact of gender locking, is why not just have your player pick one class from the off, unless it's like Ultimate Lepic or whatever it's called. I keep wanting to say Ultimate Lebo down. Ultimate Lebo. Have all of them unlocked, minus the ultimate ones, and you pick your first initial character, whatever one that would be. And then from there, you've made your conscious choice with a character that you feel you are going to be most likely to play and deal with. And then you can unlock and progress and get more characters. I know a lot of people that wouldn't be happy playing as either the AoE damage dealer, the tank, or a CC controller. Personally, if it was me, I probably would have picked Bunny. She seems like a glass cannon styled character. High DPS, very squishy, which is very much the way I like to play in these types of games. Like, I already, because I can't play the class that I would really like and then branch out, I'm already waning in interest. Maybe I'm just really, really picky. I know people that would, like, if my wife was to play this, she would want the person that spawns turrets, the summoner guy. She literally wouldn't give a crap about any other character. Getting to that character would be the most tedious, boring thing she has ever done in her entire life. And then once she's got that character, she may branch out on occasion and play as something else, like the healer. She occasionally likes playing tanks, etc. But her go-to will be the summoner guy. Getting her to actively play either an AoE, this crowd control chick, or Ajax, the tank, actively and progress through the game with that character, she will 100% not enjoy. And it's because of that I can guarantee she won't even get this game. If by some magical reasoning someone actually bought it for her and completed XYZ and unlocked that summoner character for her, then she would play it, then she would enjoy it. But she won't jump through those hoops just so that she can actually enjoy the game in the first place. She wants to enjoy the game from the off, which I kind of get, and I also kind of get why games don't have these things unlocked from the start. I mean, if you start a game with your favourite character already unlocked, with all the things already unlocked, what's the point in you even playing? I get that, but at the same time, if you've got a good game and a good product and it's enjoyable and repeatable and has a bit of longevity to it, you've got nothing to worry about. So far, gunplay seems a bit static. There's no way in which you're able to like roll or dodge, or at least I've not found the button for it, which is kind of annoying. The weapons don't feel that impactful. It's kind of just like you're throwing paper mache and numbers just appear and eventually the enemies just disintegrate. The reload on these types of games always pisses me off. Like, as a former soldier, I can tell you that I could be in full sprint and still reload my weapon. These people need to basically stand still, and they're essentially superhuman. So how can you not reload a weapon while running? Like, if I'm unable to take cover or roll around and dive and do the 5Ds, whatever they are, duck, dip, dodge, dive, and dodge, like, if I'm unable to do that, at least let me reload while at full sprint. There is no auto reload either. You literally can't keep firing, run out of magazine, you're still holding the fire button, the character automatically reloads and carries on firing. You legitimately have to stop, press your R key or whatever button it is on your controller to reload, and then carry on firing, which to me breaks up the almost the immersion of the combat a little bit too much. The environment is actually really good. I quite like the verticality of it. However, I won't lie, you've got this weird grapple hook which you can use to traverse up, down, left, right, but it's got a really, really dull range. Like, the range of it is horrible, and in combat it doesn't really seem to serve much use. You're better off just hiding behind a friggin' wooden crate, which to me kind of makes it a bit boring to use in the grand scheme of things. Now, I can only speak for Viessa, I believe her name is, but she throws ice about. She has her Q, which is she throws an icicle at you. F, which is what you see currently going on now. It's like a mist thing. She moves around dealing like frost damage to enemies with a certain radius. Eventually I unlock V, which is kind of like I summon icicles from the ground, stalagmites if you will, as like a close range melee ice attack. And then Z, which is like her ultimate ability, is Crash Game. It's not meant to be, it's Blizzard. You summon a ball, which for like 8 seconds does nothing, or at least I can tell that it does nothing, and then it eventually explodes and does some pretty hefty damage. But by the time it explodes, either I've actively killed the enemies by shooting them, or they're out of range of the explosion. Like, I don't get the point of it. I kind of feel like for a character that's meant to be CC, they've really asked the 5-year-old on what abilities they should have. Throw ice, be misty, slash with ice, and throw snowball. That's basically it. I kind of feel like they've missed some absolutely brilliant opportunities with her at the very least. The overall feel of the game is pretty good. I probably will be continuing to play throughout the beta. I will be keeping an eye on it. Probably will end up buying the game. I mean, I played the beta for Outriders and thought it was absolute trash tier and still bought the bloody game. Haven't bought the DLC for it. Wife decided it's a trash tier game. Waste no more money. Didn't you, wife?
What?
She's not listening. So I probably will start doing a bit of content on this. Maybe break up the whole Division content. I'm pretty sure people are getting bored of me just ranting and raving and going, spreadsheet! I've got more spreadsheets to make now. Yay! Anyway, that is going to do it for this quick overview of First Descendant. I will probably be coming out with a few more videos of this over the next few days, simply because we have it on free beta for like the next week or so, I believe. Might see if I can get the wife involved in the free beta so we can test out the multiplayer. But in the meantime, have fun, good luck, and don't die. It's bad for the health.